Remember the bad old days just a few months back? Baghdad's American occupiers so hated that even rival Sunni and Shia insurgent militias would join forces to ambush and kill US soldiers before turning on each other again. This hardcore footage of the aftermath of one such attack in Baghdad, filmed by one Abu Tariq, formerly official cameraman for a Sunni Muslim insurgent group, the Islamic Army. He's a veteran of the Siege of Fallujah, the Battle of Najaf, and the Surge of Baghdad. Abu Tariq lived in a Sunni neighbourhood called Amiriyah, near Baghdad's international airport, and he documented its descent into chaos. He still lives there now.
The situation in Amiriyah previously was absolutely awful. It was so bad, very violent. Employees couldn't go to work. So the area became totally dead. You can see it in my footage. Shops were shut, simple services non-existent, garbage all over the place. No water, no electricity. People started packing up and leaving. It was all because of Al-Qaeda. The choice was either to give in to Al-Qaeda or to fight them.
The residents of Amiriyah, or more accurately the Sunni insurgents of Amiriyah, chose to stand and fight their former Qaeda allies. They rebranded themselves as the swashbuckling Knights of Amiriyah, and they've ridden to the rescue.
It all kicked off when we gathered the men of the area and decided to stand up against them. That was the start of the awakening, and the battles began in Amiriyah. I remember it very well. I was on my way to work. I was stopped and told, "Abu Tariq, there's been a clash between Al-Qaeda and some men from Amiriyah." When the main battle happened, 13 fighters took part. I was one of them.
Whatever else he shot in the past, today Abu Tariq mostly shoots pictures of the Knights of Amiriyah and their shining armour. For he is their media department, official cameraman now for Jihadi insurgents turned good guys, the scourge of Al-Qaeda in Mesopotamia. The Knights of Amiriyah have just raided an Al-Qaeda bolt hole. They unload the spoils of war from their black BMW, which still has a Deutschland sticker on the bumper. The Americans claim that by putting former Sunni warlords on the US payroll, they've virtually forced Al-Qaeda out of Baghdad now and cut the number of murders in the capital by 80%. In the name of God the Almighty, and prayers on the Prophet. In the name of God the Almighty, and prayers on the Prophet, the Knights of Amiriyah have raided the homes of Al-Qaeda members. Off camera, one of the other knights corrects him. Hideout, they say, not homes. In the name of God the Almighty and prayers on the Prophet, the heroic Knights of Amiriyah have raided a hideout of Al-Qaeda. We captured some of their stock of weapons, rockets, PKC bullets, mortars, Katyusha rockets, explosives, explosive belts. Abu Tariq shoots, directs and edits all his own work. He likes to get the choreography right and will do it again and again, however many takes it takes. Yalla! Privately, he admits that he likes to add an artistic flourish, when and where necessary, to demonstrate how the Knights now keep the peace in Amiriyah, in an iron-fisted sort of way. While still ambivalent towards US forces, thousands of Amiriyah's erstwhile Sunni insurgents, who are also known as the Amiriyah Freedom Fighters, are now paid $400 each every month by the Americans, who've come to rely on their new best friends.
We have volunteered for the Knights of Amiriyah to get rid of Al-Qaeda, and, inshallah, we will soon have cleansed Amiriyah of these non-believers with the help of God. We advise those who are involved with Al-Qaeda to leave and stop their criminal activities and ask forgiveness from Almighty God and join the ranks of the Knights of Amiriyah to cleanse these areas from these criminals. Whoever we capture from Al-Qaeda, we hand them over to US forces. All the work is done by the Knights, to be perfectly honest. I know because I've been with them throughout. I followed the action with them. They raided, they captured. They were always the first to go in, even if the Americans were there. They don't know who's who. The American soldiers now wouldn't arrest anyone unless he was brought to them by the Knights.
I'm Capt Brian Wayman.
Abu Tariq's Freedom Fighter Media Division recently paid Captain Brian a visit to register his appreciation for the record.
I think the Amiriyah Freedom Fighters have done an excellent job in the month that I've worked with them. In that limited period of time, they've caught and killed more Al-Qaeda members than we've been able to do in quite some time, possibly an entire year. While we've been working with them, we have not suffered any American casualties, whereas in the previous month before we were working with them, we had 14 American soldiers killed in Amiriyah.
In recent months, the Awakening Council of the Knights of Mesopotamia, Baghdad chapter, has spread beyond the bounds of Amiriyah into other neighbourhoods where Al-Qaeda's jihadis are also now on the run.
Thanks be to God, we can say that things are 90% better now. It's much calmer. You can go out and see for yourself. We're hoping for the best, that Iraq goes back to how it was, that we can come and go as we please.
The once benighted neighbourhood has indeed been resurrected. Abu Tariq's pictures show the amazing security turnaround. This is the road to Amiriyah today. Residential side streets are being resurfaced, a reassuringly abnormal Baghdad street scene. Local residents, not long ago too scared to even emerge from their houses, now queue in the streets for commodities they'd long gone without.
As residents of Amiriyah, we have been without any gas or water or any services. But thanks to our sons, the Knights of Amiriyah, we have gas and the streets are fixed, and we hope for the best.
The Knights of Amiriyah protect us and guard the area. Because of them, we can go to school. Without them, we couldn't have done that, or even gone out onto the street. The situation would be really bad if it hadn't been for them.
For US forces, it was a big gamble to give more guns and money to men who'd previously busied themselves blowing up American soldiers. Abu Tariq's camera has captured his friend's journey from anti-US insurgents to American salaried neighbourhood policemen. Life in Amiriyah isn't exactly normal, and this certainly isn't peace. But it may just give those who live here a chance to catch their breath.